What up, y'all? It's your boy, one and only A Switch, aka Pull My Devil Trigger, aka I want blonde hair, but I'm too black for that, aka the Panda Express, but I'm the conductor. Bringing you yet another episode of Switch's Sights, episode 43 to be exact. Today's date is February 20th, 2020 to 2020 to 2020. I think I added extra 20, but you get what I'm saying. The only time we'll have this specific date in, I guess, ever. Well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of relative, but you know. Won't have a 2020 until never, you know? So let's celebrate it by doing this podcast. Why not? Which we're doing right now. So there you go. Some interesting stuff came out this week, as all weeks for the most part. I mean, you know, you get some of your ebbs and flows. Some weeks are very much slow in terms of news and stuff, but I think this is a pretty moderate week of news, I'd say. But yeah. So first thing I want to cover is the DICE Awards. Ugh. Oh boy. Not sure what happened there. Oh, I'm really not sure what happened there. Oh, that didn't feel good. Didn't feel good at all. Boy. Let me focus. Yeah, the DICE Awards. Happened, I think, around last week's episode, but I didn't get a chance to cover it and forgot about it. Kind of went on my radar. So thought it'd be a nice time to play catch up, and I think we'll sift through some of the winners of the awards. So of course the big one game of the year, a pretty big surprise, I say, Untitled Goose Game. Boy. And it was fighting against Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and The Outer Wilds. So, I don't know. It kind of maybe speaks to this type of awards ceremony because it is. Well, I mean, there is a wide gamut of games that have won, like 2018 God of War won like a ridiculous amount of awards, or 2019, I believe. So, I mean, I think it's whoever's creative enough, really. So, yeah, I'm very surprised Untitled Goose Game won it. Wouldn't be my personal pick for Game of the Year, but I totally understand why I did, because I did play it fully, beat the game technically. It had, like, you know, some New Game Plus or EX mode, whatever, but from what I played, I totally understand it. Very creative, very unique. I mean, it's just fun just being a dick to random people, you know, just doing their everyday life. So they made it pretty fun, I have to say. So I mean, at the same time, I totally understand it winning either way. So very surprised it beat Disco Elysium, because I believe that was kind of like I guess outside of Death Stranding, kind of the biggest game I've heard a lot of positive praise about consistently across the board. You know, of course, Death Stranding has its I think it's one of the most recent polarizing games I've heard about in terms, you know, reception. It's kind of a love it or hate it. I don't think there's really room for in between. I guess maybe I'm an exception from personal experience playing it. It was okay, like thinking about it, it was fine. It wasn't horrible. I appreciated some of the stuff it did and tried to do, but it's definitely not my top game of all time, or I wouldn't speak or scream to the mountaintops praising it or anything like that. So yeah, but yeah, overall, good on Untitled Goose Game. Outstanding achievement in game direction, control. Disco Elysium, Outer Wilds, and Untitled Goose Game were in here, as well as A Short Hike. I've never heard of that game. Outstanding achievement in game design, Baba Is You. I hear this game is pretty creative. I've never played it yet. I know it's like a puzzle game where it's, has very intricate puzzles where, basically harken on the definition of Baba Is You. And you gotta, I believe from what I hear, you have to kind of finagle some things in terms of the puzzle environment of trying to make that, make whatever item equal you or something like that, I believe. I plan to play that at some point, or whenever I get that itch. Disco Elysium, Outer Wilds, Sekiro, Slay the Spire. So that was the contestant for Outstanding Achievement in Game Design. Portable Game of the Year. Call of Duty Mobile, Grindstone, Sky, Children of Light, What the Gulf, and Sayonara Wild Hearts, which won Portable Game of the Year. I totally would definitely go for Call of Duty Mobile because, man, what they did with that game is still amazing. Because, it didn't really stick with the kind of conventions of a mobile game in terms of Call of Duty. I mean, you still got the, what do you call it? Currency and microtransactions and stuff like that. But, in terms of a general game overall, it's like the greatest hits of Call of Duty, both across Infinity Ward and Activision. That's a pretty good recipe, I'd say. Outstanding achievement, and I've never played Sayonara Wild Hearts, as well. So, I hear it's good though, but someday. Outstanding achievement for an independent game, Untitled Goose Game won that. The other nominees: What the Gulf, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Disco Elysium, a whore. I didn't want to say that. A Short Hike, because I can't speak today. Immersive Reality Game of the Year, Pistol Whip, which I've never heard of. Nominees: Blood and Truth, I've heard of that. Asgard's Wrath, that sounds familiar. Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets, Trover Saves the Universe. Now I hear about that. I think that's from the same folks that made Rick and Morty, or are making it technically. Immersive Reality Technical Achievement, Blood and Truth won this one. I am still, this is one thing I don't need to go on a little mini rant right now. These damn awards need to stop doing these damn kind of like participation trophy, make another category just to make spread the love type deal that pretty much almost every award kind of has. That I think probably the best award show that hasn't really done it I can recall is the Game Awards. Technically everyone seemed to make sense, at least all the awards. They seem to be very sensible. They weren't just let's just make another subcategory of roughly the same award just to award more people, which is no. Immersive Reality Game of the Year. What makes that different from Immersive Reality Technical Achievement? I guess for that specifically, just technically achieving design, but wouldn't that just make it Immersive Reality Game of the Year though? I don't know. I digress. Outstanding achievement in online gameplay, Apex Legends. I think that's well deserved. I would kind of I guess I'm kind of having a little bit of a slight bias because of playing the hell out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare lately, But yeah, which is a nominee. Destiny 2, Tetris 99, and Wargroove. I wasn't aware of Wargroove multiplayer, or that it had extensive multiplayer, or at least legitimate. That's must be a testament to how good it is. I plan to try that out someday, eventually. Strategy simulation game of the year. Fire Emblem Three Houses took it. I have have it and I've yet to play it, but if any of the previous games are any indication, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's well deserved. Anno 18, Oxygen not included, Slay the Spire, and Total War Three Kingdoms were the runner-ups for that. Sports game of the year, FIFA 20. I mean, boy, this is one of the categories I know next to nothing on. Madden NFL 20, MLB The Show 19, NBA 2K20, NHL 20 being the runners up. It's good that they split up racing now, I think, because normally they just bundle racing and sports kind of up together, which I don't think really makes the most sense. I think it's just, we'll just put them in that category because they're kind of similar, so. Role-playing game of the year. There's Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, Kingdom Hearts 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and The Outer Worlds, which won and took it. Role-playing game of the year. I've been playing a little bit of that. I'll probably go on a little bit of it later, but yeah, I think from playing it so far, it seems pretty legit. Racing game of the year, so they did split it up. That's very good on them. You had Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, Dirt Rally 2.0, F1 2019, Mario Kart Tour, and Trials Rising. Mario Kart Tour won it. Mobile game? Yeah, I mean, I can't discriminate. It's got to be legit somehow. But I mean, come on, like Crash Team Racing? I think we all know that should have won. But, I digress. Fighting game of the year, Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, Jump Force, Dead or Alive 6. Mortal Kombat 11 took it. I think out of these games, it for sure deserved it. Maybe Samurai Showdown is probably a pretty close contender, but then I can't attest to Dead or Alive 6, and I hear Jump Force is atrocious trash. So, but yeah, good on Mortal Kombat 11. Family game of the year, which I think it might as well just be called Nintendo game of the year, really, because it's not. Well, there's some like Super Lucky's Tale for the Xbox comes to mind. Probably some other games that I can't think of right now, but it's a little veered towards Nintendo. So with that being said, Super Mario Maker 2 won it. Then there's Yoshi's Crafted World, Ring Fit Adventure, Dragon Quest Builders 2, and A Short Hike. So yeah, a little veered towards Nintendo still. So adventure game of the year, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order winning it. It was good. It wasn't like exceptional, or like I didn't like, go crazy for it, but I understand it. The Legend of Zelda's Link's Awakening, Resident Evil 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Death Stranding. Definitely out of these, I definitely would have vetted for Resident Evil 2 for sure. But hey, I don't make the rules. I don't make those calls. I don't do it. Action game of the year, Control winning it. Oh, I think it has two. Has two. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears 5, and Sekiro. So, I mean, Control is fine. It's fine. Control is pretty good though. I thoroughly played the hell out of the game. Actually, I understand it. I probably would have gave it to Devil May Cry 5. Yeah. Sekiro's pretty good too, but yeah, I think ultimately I'd give it Devil May Cry. Outstanding technical achievement, Death Stranding. Yeah, this I guess this just these damn subcategories. I mean, the visually Death Stranding was pretty magnificent. That's definitely a big component of me that kept me playing the game, just being able to absorb the environment and the world while, taking extended walks, delivering packages for people. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare is definitely what I think what I would have picked, because boy, the graphics and just the overall just design is very just visually appealing on a lot of levels, and probably all the work that goes into it. I hear it did some really some creative deceptive type of stuff that kind of makes it more streamlined, and in turn kind of makes it ups that visual appeal, I believe. So that's probably what I would have gave it to. Metro Exodus, Concrete Genie, and Control were the nominees for that. Outstanding achievement and story, Disco Elysium. So looks like Disco Elysium didn't go completely empty-handed. Outer Wilds, Telling Lies, The Outer Worlds, and Control were the runner-ups for that. Audio design, outstanding achievement audio design, Death Stranding won that one. Yeah, I'm just go through the winners now because there's so many. Outstanding achievement original music composition, Control. Outstanding achievement in character, Untitled Goose Game. The goose. I like how they put that as the character. Yeah, that's funny. I gotta give him credit for that. Who was Cliff Unger from Death Stranding? I think that's Mads Mikkelsen's character. Yeah, that's pretty deserved. Outstanding achievement in art directing, Control. Outstanding achievement in animation, Luigi's Mansion 3. Okay, all right, okay. So yeah, that was the DICE Awards. Pretty interesting. I respect the decisions. Obviously, I mean, I wouldn't agree with a lot of those, but I understand why they chose them. Yeah. So let's dabble into some news actually. Yeah, we'll do I was gonna do something different, but we'll switch it up actually. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. I feel horrible for that. So first in news, apparently there's been a new patent for the PSVR 2, the controller specifically. So it looks very much like a hybrid between a Nintendo Wii controller, or Wiimote officially, Wiimote trademark, and the Valve Index. So it kind of looks like a very distinct blend between the two, like a direct synergy of the two. Because you have kind of like the support strap like a Wii in a sense, even though it's on the side, and then you have like a button on the back, kind of in the same contour as the Wii, and then there's these weird, like, it looks like a touch bar or light bar or seems like some method to detect where your fingers are at. At least that's what it's kind of indicating in the patent. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this is supposedly going to be with the next PSVR component. So I believe it was agreed that it's going to come out like shortly after, or reasonably after, the PS5 comes out. But yeah, it looks pretty nifty though. Pretty sweet. I'd mess with it. Yeah, if the PSVR came out with some legitimate games I want to play, like, more than likely, probably if it was one title to be like, okay, I guess it's time to get PSVR. Maybe, probably another Resident Evil 8. But then again, it's like it's a conflict because I don't want another Resident Evil in first person. But at least according to the rumors from, I believe, last episode or episode before that, that's gonna kind of be a reality, or somewhat solidified as a reality. So, I hope to voice my opinion if I do get invited for the play test for Resident Evil, or I think they kept it very cryptic in terms of what title it's gonna be, but we'll see. I'm all for non-FPS Resident Evil personally, or at least given a choice if you want to do first person or third person or whatever. So, thought that was a pretty interesting tidbit of news. Probably another significant change in news or news tidbit. Grand Theft Auto 4, which I believe we covered in a couple episodes ago, that it was taken off Steam, and now it is coming back, basically due to the games for Windows Live kind of, I guess, corruption now that Microsoft abandoned it completely. It was supposed to be kind of like a conduit for your Xbox account, so you can like get achievements and stuff. I think it was like Resident Evil 5, Halo 2, before we got the Master Chief Collection and stuff like that, all kind of supported it one way or another. But it was basically just like an extension of Xbox on your PC. That's probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, now that it's no longer, now they did release a Grand Theft Auto 4 Complete Edition. But it's some like significant downsides to it, I feel. So of course, obviously no games for Windows Live, which is obviously okay, understandable, whatever. Don't really care about it anyway. But probably the biggest out of these not having or not coming with Grand Theft Auto 4 is no multiplayer. So that's like, I enjoy GTA Online's multiplayer and all, but I think it was some kind of nuance and like uniqueness with Grand Theft Auto 4's multiplayer that I did thoroughly enjoy. Probably the biggest favorite for me personally was Mafia Work, which was just I just love the concept of that, where basically you just like do all these miscellaneous jobs or missions. Yeah, more so miscellaneous missions, and then whoever has the most points or did the most of the missions, because it was interesting. It was like a blend of an objective type with a little bit of kind of, I guess, somewhat TDM, and also having I guess the one mode in GTA Online now where it was like dedicated missions where you're versing each other, but it had a really cool blend of that, all within like a free roam city still, which I thought was so damn cool at the time. That's probably the mode I probably played the most. But yeah, it's like we won't get that mode again, since we clearly haven't gotten any signs of it, which still befuddles me to this day that there isn't that mode added for GTA Online, because man, that would be so damn fun. But I guess because I don't know, in terms of the state of GTA Online, really, it's like I get the impression, at least trying to matchmaking in certain games, there might be certain niches, but it seems like all people do on GTA Online, at least from the past recent times I've logged in, maybe the latest was like somewhat around Christmas, I want to say, was that people seem to either just be straight free roaming or just play heist missions like relentlessly. That's at least the impression I always seem to get whenever I'm playing, or I try to get in the groove of playing it again, because I didn't really do all the new heists and vehicle missions and packs and all that, but that always ends up taking me out ultimately, because like I already did some of this stuff. I don't really feel like doing it again, and but that's a big bummer, I'd say, specifically for PC, of course, with the modding and overall just multiplayer experience, which is a shame. But I'm pretty sure some hackers will probably reverse engineer some way to get it back to play unofficially or something like that, which would be just as cool, actually. But I mean, at the same time too, there is GTA Online, so I see why they wouldn't re-release it, because then it might take away from the mind share of GTA Online and the juggernaut that it is currently too. So it's a very finicky slope. But probably the next significant, I guess, detriment of this is also some of the radio stations, at least they claim, is temporarily unavailable. But I mean, we've seen in terms of licensing music within GTA, they always seem to disappear. They may replace it with something else, but I mean, the original music or track that you always love listening to every time is just gonna be permanently gone. potentially. So bit of a bummer. I mean, again, probably the modern community will be able to probably bring that back, but that's just yet another hoop you're gonna have to jump over to try to play this again. But on the good side, I mean, if you have the console versions of GTA 4, I think you're still in luck there. I know it's backwards compatible on Xbox One, and then on PS3 you can still play online too. Still, so balances, I guess. If you really ultimately super duper wanted to play multiplayer, still there is hope out there. For the very few that probably care. For me personally, it's kind of sad to see always, mainly for a lot of multiplayer that you've been attached to and played a lot. It's always sad to see it go, but then again, at the same time, you barely really play it, so yeah, next in news. You guys remember that video game called Dangerous Driving that was basically the spiritual successor to Dangerous Driving? Nope, I totally messed that up. The spiritual successor to Burnout, which is Dangerous Driving. They did announce that they are making a sequel called Surprise Dangerous Driving 2. That'd be kind of cool. Surprise Dangerous Driving 2. Literal title, no. But Dangerous Driving 2 is on its way at some point. Curious to see how it's going to play out. Probably the big, I guess, I don't know, downside for me is that apparently it's going to be going to copy Burnout Paradise in terms of having a free roaming world where you can drive around and drive up the missions and stuff, which personally I'm not a fan of, specifically for Burnout games. I like the quick paced action and just going to missions after you're done and going to the next mission. I kind of like that format and prefer that format more than this free roaming aspect, because I mean, I think that's maybe a misconception. Like, not all games have to be, open world or free roam. I just feel like some games cater to that more than others. And I think in this case, personally, Dangerous Driving 2, I really prefer it to just be the traditional, mission select format, which I think caters to that game more. But I'll have an open mind. I didn't really give Burnout Paradise that much of a chance. But I'll keep an open mind for Dangerous Driving 2. I've yet to actually play Dangerous Driving, but probably maybe if it goes on sale, probably be the time I give it a chance. But keeping that burnout mechanic or burnout tendency alive, I'm all for that though. But yeah, it's probably just to support, the Burnout type arcade racing game. I'll see myself at least supporting it because I do like that there is a legitimate driving game that focuses and has an emphasis on, crashing and, ramming other cars, which is definitely what makes, Burnout by far my favorite, racing game of all time. So yeah, very curious to see how this is going to play out. I don't think they revealed it on a release date, but apparently it's going to be playable at PAX East if you go there. If you are a PAXer, packing it up. Paxy? Yeah. Actually, kind of harken on that. Apparently, PlayStation, who did plan to actually be at PAX and have demo kiosks for The Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think a few other indie titles as well. They're backing out due to the coronavirus, concerns as well. So, I mean, it's legitimate. I mean, it's a thing going on. I think the concern for that was that a lot of folks are having to come to China to go to this event or something like that. So yeah, I totally understand why they want to be better safe than sorry. I mean, we're on the the wake of the new console generation. So totally valid in all fronts. And on top of that, due to the scares, they all are also backing out of GDC again due to concerns of the coronavirus, as well as Facebook Gaming / Oculus, because Facebook makes Oculus Rift. So, boy, this coronavirus is getting real serious, man. Real serious. Making me feel like I need to get my scorpion mask on quick. Need to get the damn Sub-Zero mask going. Might as well just put on the whole ninja suit. Just look like a big ass nigga ninja, you know. Just a ninja, but black, and a big ninja, you know. I feel like I'm trying to go somewhere with that, but I'm not. So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Very interesting to see. But mama ain't raised no bitch, so you know what? Mask off, all right? Mask off, like that one song. I'm pretty sure it was a song for it. I remember something about mask off. You pick up what I'm putting down. I hope you do. Next to news. I think we touched on this last episode, but I believe there were some more details that kind of came up after the fact. So basically, you know, with PlayStation 5 building, you know, a console costs $450 overall due to the scarcity of the NAND and RAM components. But I believe there were some more developments regarding that. In particular, was there really anything significant? And I just put this for no reason. I'm not sure if we found out the price. Or did we? I think I only talked about specifically PlayStation waiting to compete with Xbox Series X in terms of price, but maybe that was it. So maybe I'll just they did cancel the camera features, which I think that was one thing we didn't cover. But yeah, I guess in general, essentially the same. So I just did that for nothing. So we're just gonna skip on that, like it didn't even happen. I believe we also talked about last week, kind of provide an update in terms of Modern Warfare. Has been real coy and very quiet in regards to the Battle Royale rumors. But again, we as of now, we still have yet to hear anything regarding, even though there's blatant, clear signs that it's definitely a thing. You know, I think we talked about that the trailer is a straight up direct giveaway of like a lot of elements of Battle Royale, parachuting out of the planes, and you know that they're facing each other and stuff like that. And at least the cinematography definitely shows like a very expansive map that and the players parachuting on the map. So it's pretty hard to not acknowledge that as it is Battle Royale that is coming. And I believe Activision has been taking down a lot of people that have been, showing pics of the rumors of it. Or, I think there were some glitches because I know we talked about before that there's a new menu option on the Modern Warfare screen that's classified and like a very significant mode that has its own dedicated mode, just like Black Ops 4. Wonder what it could be. So yeah, so at least basically Activision has just not been saying nothing, but I feel like we should be hearing about it sooner or later. It's just a matter of when, really. I'm guessing next week, either next week or the week after, because they're making it seem like it's gonna be pretty soon. I think one aspect that did develop that we didn't hear about before was that it is going to be free to play, more than likely. So basically, you can specifically just play the Warzone aspect of Modern Warfare. But you don't get to play obviously the traditional Modern Warfare stuff. So, but I believe they said like progression and everything still translates, which is that's going to be a big win or big sigh of relief personally in terms of grinding out this battle pass and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting to bring up either way, but still in development. Back to you back to you, Catherine. Yeah, I feel like I'm very news reportery, which I'm not trying to be like, but I feel like this stuff needs to be discussed. So on for Witcher 3 on Switch, boy, this game has gotten some love right now. I mean, obviously with the TV show beefing the game up and stuff like that, but now there's a patch released I think earlier this week that for The Witcher 3 that now supports cross save with Steam and GOG. And then additionally on top of that, even more graphical options. So that is just crazy. That is so damn crazy. I know they were kind of exploiting this before that the Switch version had the options to change the graphics. A modded version at least, but now that there's it's unlocked for everybody to mess with and tinker with. That's crazy. Now I believe there are some options just to make the game look better, run even better than it already has on the Switch too. But man, the cross save now the game has cross save. So in theory, I could like play the game on my Switch and then transfer it to PC, and just that potential flexibility alone has got me super duper tempted to one, dive into The Witcher 3, which I've never yet to do. I maybe played like 5 minutes and just moved on to other stuff because I was like, I know where this is going. This is like 250 hours of my life that I'm not sure I'm ready to commit or give away just yet. This was around when it came out, but yeah, so boy, yeah, I'm very tempted. Just I could just be going out of town and just playing the hell out of the Witcher 3, and then when I go home to my PC, I could just load the save and just play it in like immense graphical fidelity. It's like switching on a whole nother level, but to your PC. That's just so crazy to me. Oh my god. More games need to do this. I'm just saying. As a multi-platform user, boy, it is greatly appreciated. It is immensely appreciated whenever people do this. And I still vouch for Monster Hunter World. Please do this. Just give a cross save, even if it's just like a cutoff save, just to transfer my character that I put like 200 hours in. I don't want to do 200 hours again on a PC version. Let me just play Monster Hunter how I want to play it, because I put time and dedication into your game already. Just let me transfer a save or something. All right, come on. Sorry, that was I literally got on my soapbox and I went off. Not even gonna lie to y'all. Somewhat semi speculation. Well, not really speculation. It's concrete information, but Rainbow Six Siege is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and crossplay is in the works. Now, mind you, that does include the original, the PS4 and Xbox One. So technically, in theory, based off the statements, you'll be able to play Rainbow Six on your PlayStation 5 with your buddy that has a PlayStation 4 that just has not decided to pull the trigger yet, or your friend on Xbox One that maybe hasn't decided to pull the trigger yet or anytime soon. Just that alone is just a very interesting precedent that I think a lot of games are going to follow suit on as we transition into the next generation of games and stuff. My dream and aspiration is especially Overwatch 2 or whatever, how they kind of managed the transition of that. being able to play. I have an Xbox Series X, and I could play with a friend that has a PS4. That's kind of cool. I think more games need to do that. The more the better overall. But that's still surreal to me that now that's becoming a norm, which is fantastic. Thought we'd never see this day. I don't want to kind of degrade the significance of civil rights, but I mean it's somewhat close. I'm not to demean civil rights, obviously, but it's like a thing we never see that we fought so long today. We now play on your PS4, on your Xbox together. So that's got to be done. That's got to be done. Somebody, I feel like that's a thing already. Somebody as Martin Luther King or emulate Martin Luther King, but I don't know. That's kind of touchy though. As Martin Luther King, but emulating kind of the blacks versus whites. Yeah, that's a little touchy. That's a little touchy. Probably don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, that does. It's something there, but I don't know. I think it maybe comes down to execution, how it's conveyed. But there's some diamond in there. Maybe I don't know. Not sure how we got here, but we did. So interesting stuff either way. Boy, that was unexpected. Yeah, and then in terms of the interview, they don't really cover if it, in terms of like, let's say I have Rainbow Six for PS4, and if I jump to PS5, for example, if I just simply put my disc in the PlayStation 5 and play that way, or put my disc in and maybe have to pay like $10 for upgrade fee, but I guess could use the same disc to play it, which I think they kind of did, jumping from PS3, 360 to PS4, Xbox One, kind of, where they did kind of have that program in terms of that transitional period of upgrading to the current gen console. So very fascinated to see how that's going to come into play. Ideally, would totally love it if they just, for free, or maybe even you could just play the game. It just will be at a lower quality, but you can still play it without having to pay anything on the next gen console, which would even be pretty cool too. It's a lot of options here, because I mean, me personally, I am very much a stickler for trying to play the best fidelity possible. But I mean, you're going to dangle some, hey, you can play this, but you can play it even in greater fidelity. You want your eyes burned at 10K, huh? Yeah, go ahead, buy that $5 upgrade kit, you bitch. That's what I feel plays, and every time I'm tempted and suckered in the stuff that I probably shouldn't be doing, but God damn it, I'm a sucker for it, and the first step is admittance and acceptance. Well, not necessarily acceptance, but acknowledgement of you making those very unfortunate decisions, I guess, so hey, progress. On the Resident Evil 3 train, obviously, at least if you're in the echo chamber about it all, apparently, yeah, there really hasn't been any, it's been pretty much crickets in terms of any updates or news or details in terms of Resident Evil 3, which personally, to be honest, I'm fine with, because the game is going to be so close to, we're like, what, a month-ish away from it, or maybe kind of technically longer than that, but you know what I mean. We're very close to it coming out, so I mean, they don't really need to, and I think that kind of works in their favor, because it's creating, like, I think a fervor for a lot of folks wanting to know more, like, I want to know all about this. Wow, what can you do in this, and blah blah blah, yada yada. So I mean, I think it's working in Capcom's favor, actually, and it's not that long to wait on top of it. So I mean, personally, I'm fine with it. But some interesting details which may kind of indicate that this might be going somewhere, or I guess it's kind of unrelated to RE3 remake though, but it could. No, actually, maybe it more than likely isn't. But apparently, there was one of the voice actors for Biohazard 3. I guess that's kind of the connection. They said that one of the other models that they know is working is a character on another remake, and the person is Ninja Cat Girl on Instagram. Boy, that just sounds creepy, but you know what I mean. I mean, it's, you know. So if you look at her Instagram, which I guess I'm kind of weirdly saying, I mean, if you care, really, to be honest, but basically she looks a lot like in terms of based off. I'm not gonna show them toes. Shut up. What the hell, OPEX? If you look at her photo of her just based off her general look, she looks a lot like Alexa Ashford from Resident Evil Code Veronica. So I mean, on top of that, that's logically the next remake in terms of chronological order, because they covered 1 through 3. So now the next one is well, not Resident Evil 4, but technically this is the Resident Evil 4, or the next one that came after 3 anyway, which out of all the recent Resident Evils in general, is probably definitely the next one that is in dire need of a remake, for sure. So I could see it probably being that. So some people were saying that it was Rebecca. Maybe they're remaking Resident Evil 1 again, which I think is very unlikely, because that game is just perfect, and it could stand like another 10, 12 years anyway, before, I guess, you know, we will still have that talk like, man, it might need another remake, you know. So I don't know, but it is pretty fascinating that there is somewhat of a little bit of a confirmation that it might be Alexa Ashford for Code Veronica, and that Code Veronica is getting remade as well, which I'm totally fine with, because man, that game is great too. People are kind of, I think it's polarizing. I know a lot of people maybe think it's like, it might be the weakest Resident Evil. Personally, I don't think so. There's some other ones that are weaker, like RE0. I think it's probably the weakest of the mainline Resident Evils. I'd maybe put Revelations first, and then maybe 0 after that, in terms of just the weakest Resident Evil games, but that's up for debate. But some people are also saying that it might be Regina, which I don't know. She seems to look a little too young to be a Regina. But I mean, it's possible, I guess. And then maybe they're just using the face model and then kind of deviating off that or something. It was, it wasn't that great. It was okay. It was playable for sure, but yeah, it was, out of the Resident Evils, it's definitely, one of the weaker ones for sure. So I thought that was pretty cool in terms of some semi leaky speculation, confirmation, if you will. But yeah, that's cool that we're potentially getting Code Veronica remake. I mean, keep these damn remakes going. I'm all for it, specifically for Resident Evil, especially considering how dated the games are now, and just how many hardcore fans there are for Resident Evil in general. So I'll put myself in that pot also, admittedly. So that game Shenmue 3, I'm kind of ashamed. I've yet to play it either, but there apparently is going to be a demo or DLC pack coming for Shenmue 3 called the Story Quest Pack. Is dropped, or I think it's already dropped. So I have to check that out someday. I think it's paid though. Yeah, you can get the season pass, or you can get each DLC separately, because I guess there's supposedly 3 DLCs. So hey, pretty horrible representation of the DLC though. It's just a dude tied up, the same dude talking, and then Rio putting his hand on a cup. All right. Go ahead and pre-order now. Oh my God. Rio got his hand on a cup. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. This is the best DLC ever. The sad part is probably some dude like that. I ain't gonna lie. That's probably some dude. Oh my God. Ryu got his hand on the cup. Oh my goodness. He put his finger on the cup. Oh my God. DLC of 2020. I believe it. I believe it. It's probably the last segment I want to cover. My Bugatti. Is the NPDs of January. So you know me. Maybe you don't, but I love me some data. Specifically for video games. So, I have to absorb and analyze and kind of guess just what the people are kind of wanting to play or buying. It's kind of fascinating to see, especially from somebody who's like, in a particular niche of preference in games, and then to see, the general public overall, what people are actually voting with their wallets really. So I think it's pretty good or interesting we kind of divulge into that. So just a few tidbits. I'm just gonna try to highlight majority of this stuff, but Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is January's best-selling game. Launch month sales, third highest in franchise history, trailing only Dragon Ball FighterZ and Dragon Ball Z Budokai. So I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Ball. I'm familiar with a lot of this stuff, but not 100%, and stuff like that. But from what I'm hearing, this is actually pretty good. I thought a lot of people thought it was going to be booty, but I hear it's pretty good. And actually, I think for somebody like me, who's not really into Dragon Ball, this actually is a good entry point, because I think they, from what I hear, it covers a lot of the initial story of Dragon Ball in terms, I guess, mainly, Goku's story growing up and all that stuff. As somebody who doesn't know much about Dragon Ball like that, but pretty interested and tempted to probably give this a try, as this is probably like a really good entry point. And I think from what I hear is that it's even more condensed kind of entry point that cuts all the fat out as well. Like if you were to watch the show, which I'm kind of interested in, because I know there's a lot of bloat with Dragon Ball and stuff like that. So kind of has piqued my interest. Now it's kind of vetted to be good. I might I'll be tempted. Probably if it goes on sale at a pretty good price, maybe I'd give it a chance. Of course though, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, second best-selling title in the month of January, and remains the best-selling game over the past 12 months. I'm gonna stop getting on my preacher box for Modern Warfare, but it's well deserved, specifically with the inclusion of crossplay and Battle Pass, and the seasons now that they're slowly dropping all these DLC maps and stuff like that, new guns and all that. So well deserved. Modern Warfare, you do deserve it. Grand Theft Auto, I feel like at this point, surprising nobody, still selling crazily. Top 5 best-selling titles. Jesus. And it was coming back actually since August of 2019. So my God. Now Ring Fit Adventure, that's pretty surprising. It's 9th ranked in terms of the bestsellers list. And this game has just been like a cult classic, or like just a word of mouth fiend, because I've been hearing like a lot of positive, interesting stuff. Because apparently it's kind of like Wii Fit, but I don't even want to put it in that box either, because I believe it's better than that in a lot of ways. But a lot of people, from what I'm hearing, are saying that it's really just good overall, and keeping people to work out and stick with working out in this sense that can't go to a gym and stuff like that. So a lot of that is actually pretty interesting. So I might I hear also it's like selling out everywhere too. I think partially due to coronavirus in terms of not being able to produce more. So it's kind of interesting. What others is interesting tidbits? The Xbox Elite Series 2 wireless controller, the best-selling video game accessory for the third consecutive month, came out in November. And yeah, I could vouch for it. That boy is hefty. That boy is legit. Been having some weird syncing issues though, but I'm not sure if it's the Xbox, the game, because coincidentally it seems to always be when I'm playing Call of Duty, or the controller itself. But whenever I reset it, it seems to work just fine. So I'm not sure where the culprit is there. But outside of that, that boy is great. I could definitely vouch for that. But yeah, that price tag though is hefty. So I'm just gonna dabble in terms of just I'll go over the 20 top seller games, all platforms. So like we talked about before, Dragon Ball Z is top. Number 1, Modern Warfare 2, Madden NFL 23, that's expected. Jedi Fallen Order at 4, actually is pretty surprising. I didn't really see that getting this high in terms of the sales. NBA 2K20 at 6. We already talked about Grand Theft Auto 5 conveniently at 5. Smash Brothers Ultimate at 7. Mario Kart 8 at 8. That's weird. That's weird numbering. Number of titles are in their weirdly appropriate places. Ring Fit Adventure at 9, like we talked about. Red Dead Redemption at 10. Red Dead Redemption 2. Minecraft still hitting it at 11. Pokemon Sword at 12. Luigi's Mansion 3 at 13. Battlefront 2 14. I'm curious about this. I guess there's a resurgent. I think with the DLC for the movie that was added, maybe that got a lot of people to get back into it, or maybe there's just a weird push for people getting back into Battlefront 2, I guess. Breath of the Wild 15, Need for Speed Heat at 16, FIFA 20 at 17, Just Dance 2020 at 18, Mortal Kombat 11 at 19, Pokemon Shield at 20. So we all know the superior Pokemon is Pokemon Sword. Sword over Shield, bitch. that definitely would be the... I mean, Sword just sounds more appealing than Shield. It's like, I want to hit somebody. I won't want to block, just based off that alone. I don't know. Maybe they put all the good Pokemon in Shield, though, instead, just to kind of troll you. Who knows? I'll cover at least the top 3 for the respective platforms. Xbox One, Dragon Ball Z, Modern Warfare, Madden, Jedi Fallen Order, and NBA 2K20. PS4, Dragon Ball, Modern Warfare, Madden, and it's kind of like, wow, it's weirdly the same. There's literally the only difference between PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Xbox One has NBA 2K20 at 5. PlayStation has Jedi Fallen Order at 5, but NBA 2K20 is right below it at 6. So interesting. Nintendo Switch, Smash Bros. Ultimate, number 1. Mario Kart 8, number 2. Ring Fit Adventure at 3. Pokemon Sword at 4. Luigi's Mansion 3 at 5. Pokemon Shield is at 7. Just to kind of keep that competition. So we know that Sword is clearly superior than Shield. So the 10 best-selling games for the last 12 months. The first we talked about before, Modern Warfare. Number 1, NBA 2K20. Number 2, Madden NFL 20. 3, Borderlands 3 at 4. Mortal Kombat 11 at 5. Yeah, we could cover this one. Jedi Fallen Order at 6. Division 2 at 7. Smash Ultimate at 8, GTA 5 at 9, and Mario Kart 8 at 10. So nothing too surprising there. Shouts out to Matt Piscatella, who breaks down all this information. He is the data legend, data chief, data savant, whatever you want to call him. It's all great. It's all gravy. All great gravy. Yeah, nothing really surprising. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I guess I'm mildly surprised by that because I didn't hear much, I guess, hype about it before it came out. So I didn't really think it would be at number one, really. But then again, there's not really that much competition that came out in January specifically that I can recall. So I mean, I think it just came out at a good time that, it was very sparse in terms of the new gaming market for January. So it makes sense now that I think about it in that way. But interesting stuff. Ring Fit Adventure was kind of surprising too. I just didn't know how good that game is, but I don't know. How's it going, ex-boss? Fascinating stuff though, man. Very fascinating stuff. Pokemon Sword. I mean, I kind of saw that coming. Pokemon Sword totally obliterating Shield. But I mean, this was before when it came out in November too. I'm assuming it was the same anyway. So cool stuff. Those are the NPDs. Those are the NPDs, man. So I think we covered all the news topics. So let's get into what I've been playing. First and foremost, this game has just got me by the balls and won't let me go. That is Modern Warfare 2019. Boy, especially with season 2 coming out, I've just been very engaged. I've just been found myself logging in daily to get my dailies in and try to get to rank 155 and then try to get to 100 on the battle pass. But boy, I've been addicted and I like it. So yeah, it's been pretty interesting though. This is definitely the most engaging Modern Warfare for sure, hands down. I've been playing consistently. I'd have to say, yeah, since Modern Warfare 2, man. That is probably the biggest compliment I could give to this game because, yeah, it's been like the past Call of Duties I've been playing, I at least get to the max rank and then I'd be done. That'd at least be my kind of fix for it. And then I pretty much would just not play it after that. I played Black Ops 4 more than I normally would too, to some extent, but not as much as Modern Warfare, I feel at least. So, but it wasn't just all Modern Warfare. I did dabble into Nier Automata. I try to put a little bit of hours into that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fully go into that full force yet. I've been feeling kind of timid about it and considering the time commitment for that game, but I've been liking what I'm playing so far. The combat feels good. You get that smooth, buttery 60 FPS, which is great. Story I'm getting interested in. But I'm not sure if I want to commit to it fully just yet. So, probably due to that was because, of course, you guys might have seen me stream it yesterday. Devil May Cry 3. Yeah, I felt myself like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this again. Especially for those that don't know, the Switch edition, it did get added. I'm pretty sure I talked about it already in the show, but freestyle mode, which basically lets you switch all your styles on the fly, which you couldn't do before, like Devil May Cry 4 and 5, and you can switch across all your weapons via a weapon wheel. I'm not sure how that plays out fully yet. At least when I was playing last night, I didn't unlock at least all the weapons to kind of get a real good feel for it. So I'm not sure if it works or not, but what I played, it seems like I could get used to it. It might be just a little more finicky than I'd prefer, but I'd still again have to kind of play with it a little bit more. So, and I also dabbled in the Outer Worlds, so I've been out of the loop for this game, and then yeah, actually playing it now, I totally get the praise for it. It definitely scratches the hell out of that Fallout itch, like Fallout 4 couldn't. I don't know. I liked Fallout 4 in a lot of aspects, but it's definitely scratching that Fallout itch for me for sure. Just getting a lot of the same similar vibes and tones for that overall. I didn't put too much time into it, but again, I was just dabbling it. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Dabbling with it before the inevitable Devil May Cry 3. Pretty sure that's a game I'm just going to devote a fair amount of time into trying to upgrade my styles and get a feel for how the new freestyle mechanic works now that you have all your styles at your disposal to switch easily on the fly whenever you want, which is just the best thing they could have done and added to this game to make it the definitive version to play, which so far from when I played, at least 9 missions in, it's definitely the definitive version of Devil May Cry 3, hands down. Hands down. Don't put your hands up. Put them down for Devil May Cry 3. That's all I'm going to say. Then this past weekend, I dabbled into the betas. I got some of that beta action. I guess if you were to say that a couple, like a decade, 2 decades ago, that'd be like kind of somewhat relevant. But I digress. The Halo beta, or at least the flight program for Halo PC, since they are rolling it out. They started with Reach, so now they're moving on to Switch. Now they're moving on to Halo 1. And then, inevitably 2, 3, 4 and all that. So at least messing with Halo 1, there was some bugs, but overall it was pretty smooth. It was one in particular, if you were playing on mouse and keyboard, if you, for some weird reason, if you had your vehicle button or attack mapped to the right button, which it is by default, the right mouse button function wouldn't work, which is zoom for Halo. So that was kind of annoying, but I guess the temp workaround for that was to unmap or unbind the vehicle attack action to another key outside of the right mouse button, and then it will work. But that's a known issue they're aware of now anyway, so pretty sure that'll be fixed eventually, slowly but surely. But outside of that, felt like some good old Halo, some good old classic Halo 1. At least I've never really played Halo 1 too much in terms of like the traditional, like, super huge LAN environment, but at least for online and, having a super huge reference of Halo 2 felt pretty good for what it was. So I believe I'm going to probably test that out gradually throughout the week or throughout the end of this weekend too. Also played the Bleeding Edge beta. For those that don't know, it's a beta for I don't know what it's beta for Bleeding Edge. I'm not sure why I phrased it that way, but whatever. Which is basically a third-person action game. Kind of think, at least probably my best reference point is if you mix For Honor with Overwatch, you kind of get Bleeding Edge. That's probably the closest, I guess, characteristics I can think of. Played probably like a good 4 to 6 matches, I want to say, over the weekend. It was meh. I have to say, it was meh. It wasn't like exceptional or astounding. It was okay. I don't know. It was just some gripes I had with just the general gameplay of it. I just wanted more depth and like responsiveness from the combat. It just felt like when you hit people, you didn't really get that oomph or, that kind of like registration that was fulfilling, if that makes sense, where, you get a satisfying sound that, you know, felt like, man, I really hit his ass or something like that. I feel like that's probably one of the essential components that is missing of the game currently at its current state, considering it is in closed beta right now. They could make that fix. And then, yeah, of course, the other aspect, pretty much for all the characters I mess with, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much everybody. The combos were pretty limited. I would like them to be more in depth or have some more depth to it, in the same vein as For Honor, which, you know, For Honor, I think it really had a pretty good balance in terms of, like, your combos weren't too extensive, but they weren't too simple or basic. There was, you know, some nuances enough where, you know, it just wasn't all about memorization or, you know, just, yeah, I guess essentially memorization or execution. It was just more about, you know, the best situation to use said moves and then kind of applying that in a smart way or kind of using some of the nuances and tricks of canceling out of stuff and things like that. Didn't really get that vibe in Bleeding Edge. Maybe it's there, but at least from what I played, it didn't really feel that extensive in any way. So it's still time for them to shape that up. I know I got a survey from them regarding, you know, the my thoughts on the game, and I sure as hell put those sentiments accordingly in there. So hopefully that game does turn up. I do hope it does turn up, but at least from what I play now, it's a bit meh for me. I'd probably give it another chance if there was maybe another round of the betas, which I'm thinking it probably is, but from what I played, it's didn't feel like nothing to write home about. So I don't know. But yeah, outside of that, it's pretty much all I've been doing. I haven't really been watching any other movies outside of Sonic, which I already talked about last episode. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Pretty much it. But yeah, I think that'll conclude the show for this week. Again, if you have any questions you'd like to submit to the show, that will hopefully get answered on the show if I do get enough or what have you. Feel free to submit them at aswitchtv@gmail.com. If you are listening to this podcast on your respective podcasting platforms, feel free to rate positively or negatively, subscribe and all that good stuff accordingly to your respective podcasting platforms. You can catch me on Twitch TV/aswitch, where I do record this live every week on Thursdays, ideally at 7 p.m. PST on a good day. You can also catch me on youtube.com/aswitch, where, you know, I've been a bit dormant, but I am putting that work in. I'm trying to at least get at least my video portions of the podcast on there for archival purposes. It's been a bit of a struggle for the video or audio versions to try to get on there, which is my one gripe with YouTube is, like, why isn't there an option just to straight up upload your MP3 directly to YouTube? That just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I guess maybe they're just trying to make it more difficult for, you know, I guess pirators that maybe just want to upload just music of people, I guess, but it's dumb. And then I try to edit the video or podcast as a video to upload to YouTube. I use Adobe Premiere, and then when I do it, the audio just want to skip relentlessly. So it's like, all right, okay, so all right. I tried even different versions of the audio file, tried different audio files, tried copying the audio file locally to my C drive, since at least I was doing it off my NAS, and did not want to cooperate. So yeah, it's kind of the trials and tribulations of trying to transition or at least add the content to YouTube. But YouTube just was like, you know what, fuck you. So how about that? YouTube was like, what you gonna do? You're trying to upload your audio podcast to YouTube, huh? I don't know. Not sure if I want to do that for you. So Good luck. basically, basically what YouTube told me. I mean, Google in general too, because already I'm gonna get on a slight rant because I had an issue with Google Play in terms of my podcast I uploaded. They said some mess about some audio crawl, which I didn't get on the other platforms I uploaded to, which at least specifically Spotify and iTunes. They didn't give me none of that back talk, but of course Google want to cause some problems, some issues. Say, hey man, you got this audio crawl. What the hell is audio crawl? You can't even explain to me what audio crawl is. How do you even know? I'm sorry. Let me chill out because I see myself getting real angry. Not necessarily angry, mildly tempered. Okay, but I'm good. All right, it's not a big deal. Okay, I tried to tell them that from support. They was like, you know what? Hey, it's on you, buddy. You're the problem. Like, okay, how am I the problem if I upload it to other platforms? Then it's not an issue. I don't get any error or anything like that. So, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things are not me. Okay, that's what I should have told him. Should have called his ass. Just gave him everything. You know. But I'm not that person. All right. I'm not that person. Level-headed, calm, respectful. Most of the time. Oh. Yeah. So I mean, you know, just to try to be somewhat transparent in terms of the attempts I at least am making to try to upload to YouTube for, you know, viewing convenience and or pleasure. So yeah. Outside of that, guys, that is pretty much it for episode 43 of Switches Sites podcast on 2/20/2020. It's never gonna happen again. So, you know, yeah. Yeah, guys. Till next time.